Welcome to today's webinar, Leverage Your Customer Data to Increase Engagement. I'm Brenda Pierce, and I will be your moderator today. We're excited to have Tom Litowitz. He's our CFO of DeepTarget, Chief Revenue Officer. And we also have Brenna Butler from Ohio Valley Bank. Brenna is both a Jack Henry and a DeepTarget customer. She's going to share with us her insights into how Ohio Valley Bank use their data to increase their digital engagement. I'm going to turn it over to Tom, and then we will come back and we'll have lots of questions for Brenna. So Tom?
Thanks, Brenda, and thanks to everyone for attending. For those unfamiliar with DeepTarget's digital experience platform, I'd like to start by just taking a few minutes and emphasizing what we're going to talk about today. And to note that it does not require Banno. It works with Banno, but does not require Banno. Jack Henry's been a really good partner. And in the spirit of open systems, we've got a really good history and a lot of users. As a result, DeepTarget works just fine with Godot and NetTeller as well. So you can have a world-class marketing system without leaving NetTeller or Godot. However, since we also work with Banno and other digital front ends, when it comes time to migrate off of those platforms, should that be in your future, we can assist with that as well. But regardless of the status of your digital front end, you still have other channels like email, print, e-statements, and more. So DeepTarget has developed a system we call a digital experience platform that will standardize your messaging, marketing, and cross-selling activities across the entire organization. It's platformification, if you will, of your messaging and communications on an enterprise level. And we sometimes refer to the digital experience platform as a DXP. So let me talk about how we engage in the digital channels so that we can establish affinity first inside these digital channels. Job one is to create affinity within your digital channels and email and statement with your users. So we relate to them in a personalized and meaningful way that establishes an emotional connection. The example shown is a message that links the user to a COVID-19 vaccination plan here where I live in the state of Ohio. That's a great customer service thing to link people on how they can schedule their COVID-19 vaccination. The second step is to drive deeper and more engagement. It's to let the user know that you're working hard to deliver more and more features that will make their lives easier. In this case, we're showing Zelle, but it could easily be personal financial management, credit score, electronic bill pay, mobile remote deposit capture, or whatever you want to push that at that time. When you do your analysis, if somebody's not using bill pay, for example, but should be, you can give them some financial guidance as to why bill pay or electronic bill pay is important and actually escort them over to electronic bill pay. This way, we're driving engagement, adoption, and partnership. In the old days, we used to call this consultative selling. The third step is to get the user invested as a partner, and then they're engaged, and then to make meaningful and personalized cross-sell and upsell recommendations. Here, we're combining the display of the user's credit score with a personalized offer to apply for a consolidation loan, complete with the user's name. Better yet, why don't I just show you? Give me a fat second, as my 16-year-old daughter says, to bring up my mobile phone. So I'm going to get out of the full screen here with PowerPoint, and hopefully now you should be able to see my mobile phone. Here, we're just looking at, kind of the average looking mobile phone application. At the very bottom, you're seeing personalized banners that, again, DeepTarget drives the content of these banners to inform the user. At this point, it comes up with experience your financial story, and I'm now bringing up something we call 3D Storyteller. So we can drive personalized messages through these banners, and we can also drive it through 3D Storyteller. So we made this one specifically for Jack Henry users. And what I can do is I can play with this thing and I can make it bounce around. I can even add connections so that if I want to make it actionable and I want to go see what's new with Jack Henry and Associates digital banking, I can simply swipe up and it will take me right to the library of discovering Jack Henry. I'll bet you some don't even know that library exists, which is hopefully helpful for you today. So I'll just go through a few. Here's one where we're asking the user to take a survey. We could also have Rate My App in there. Here's one where we're promoting Zelle. I kind of showed a screenshot of that earlier. Here's the one with the credit score, and I could go swipe right up and be pre-qualified for and take advantage of that credit score. Here's one for a home improvement loan. Of course, you wouldn't want to show that to somebody who's renting, so that's part of the analysis ahead of time. Here's one announcing a branch reopening. And here's one I really like, is a little video. So you can even attach video and audio to 3D Storyteller to be even more immersive and more engaging. Here's the one I showed where I can swipe up and go right to the state of Ohio's Department of Health to sign up for my COVID-19 vaccination. This one I like because if you've ever tried to get your users to sign up for e-statements, you know the biggest problem is to getting them to okay it. You can simply swipe up here, click on the okay, I'm signed up for e-statements, and come back into 3D Storyteller and very quickly save yourself maybe $1 a month on sending out statements. This is one I like because I'm escorting the user over to bill pay. I'm not taking them to a separate web page. I'm just taking them over to a feature within the system. And last but not least, here's one where we're telling Max, this user, that he's already been pre-qualified for a debt consolidation loan, and he'll save $484.75. And if Max taps on that or swipes up, it takes him right to a pre-qualified page where he can just simply hit submit, and he's now he owns a debt consolidation loan. So I'm going to end that demo. It was a very brief demo, and I'm going to bring my presentation back up again. Make sure I got my act together. So thanks for watching the demo. Here's an example of a couple Banno screens. The left is online banking, the right is mobile. But what we've shown is, or what we're trying to show and we're trying to depict here, is that we want to take you from this disparate, uncoordinated shotgun attempt at messaging on the left, where we put DeepTarget at the hub or the middle of your messaging over on the right. So just to give you a little graphic depiction of what we're trying to do. So here's the most important screen. It's important to understand that these banners and storytellers are informed. And by informed, we mean that they're personalized and appropriate. We no longer want to offer a home equity line of credit to somebody who rents, for example. So the first step in the process is to consolidate the data that we can get. And then that feed can come from the core, or it can come from a sophisticated marketing CIF if you have one. The better the data, the better the personalization. But we like to be able to crawl before we can walk and then run. So we have standard packages to get this data with most of the Jack Henry cores. And again, we use that to inform the message of the campaigns, and that's depicted by the middle picture here. You create several messages appropriate for that user, and then you push that into production as part of their personalized story for each individual user. Finally, we can push that in banners or in 3D Storyteller. We can push it in online. We can push it in statements. We can push it in email. It doesn't matter. And don't forget, we can do this with Godot. We can do this with NetTeller, and we can do this with Banno along with other digital platforms. So it's very flexible. And as I said, it's really nice to even to be able to escort people over from your old platform to your new Banno platform or any other new release that you may have. So this is, I think, where it gets really exciting because you've never had this capability before. So this is where you keep your finger on the pulse of the DeepTarget empowered channels, and this is done in real-time mode. So it's more than that. So if you look at the color wheel at the lower left-hand section, you can see this little variable color donut or color wheel, if you will. What's great about this is you can align the number of impressions with your corporate strategy. This color wheel is showing campaigns by category of the bank or credit union. So at an executive level, if the senior vice president of lending is responsible for driving 60% of the revenue of your organization, and they see they're only getting 15% of the messages, then perhaps there's a disalignment or it's unaligned with the strategic objectives of your bank or credit union. So you can adjust that here. So today, most financial institutions are trying to attract deposits, whereas a year ago they were trying to get deposits. Now they're trying to get quality loans. With this system, easy peasy, just change your emphasis on the impressions. This, I just wanted to show very briefly, is an example of our our open data API. This is where we've taken all the clicks and all the activities, and we push this to Microsoft Power BI. So if you have a data analytics department, they can take all this information and massage it and report on it to your heart's content. We can also share lead information to sales CRMs like Salesforce.com. If you think about it, this is just what the big techs have done. As a matter of fact, there was an article in today's financial brand feed saying, "Don't fight the big techs, steal their techniques," and that's really what we're doing here. So to solve the problem of being able to personalize inside the digital experience, this is what Netflix is doing. When you sign on to Netflix, they ask you who's watching. And when you say who's watching, they then give you a personalized experience based on your history of doing business with Netflix. On the bottom is simply Amazon. On the far left is recommendations. To the next one is recently viewed. Deal of the day is next because this is something they know I'm a sucker for a deal. And then last but not least is paid content. Here, Bose has paid Amazon to pay for an ad. So again, what we're talking about is not new. We're just taking tried and true techniques that are being done on Amazon and Netflix and Instagram and even LinkedIn with their stories, and we're applying this to the banking and credit union efforts to personalize and differentiate digital channels. So Brenda, with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great, Tom. Thank you. And I'm excited that we have Brenna Butler on the call today. Brenna is the Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications at Ohio Valley Bank. And Brenna, I'm going to just let you tell a little bit about your story about Ohio Valley.
Okay, thanks, Brenda. Yeah, I work for Ohio Valley Bank. We're in Southern Ohio and Western West Virginia. I see a lot of names out there that I know. Thanks for tuning in today. We're just over $1 billion in assets, and we're a Silver Lake core bank. We're currently using NetTeller with plans to eventually go to Banno Online, probably when they pick up Banno Business as well. And we're using Banno Mobile for mobile right now. We did use Godo at one time, but we're in Banno Mobile now and have been for a couple years. So we have been a DeepTarget client since 2012 and use it with NetTeller. We recently were excited to sign contracts to be able to offer it in Banno Mobile, and we'll be starting that implementation at the end of March. So pretty excited about that, and I'm happy to be here today and share kind of our experience.
Great. Well, thank you, Brenda. So let's get started into some questions. We have several questions that we're going to highlight. And the first one is just, how are you using DeepTarget today?
Okay. Well, we use DeepTarget in a couple different ways. We use the basic DeepTarget ads mainly for all user ads and large audience campaigns. We use it for kind of a mix of advertising, cross-sell, and also for big announcements. We also do what we call our community first debit cards, which are local designs for debit cards. And we use targeted ads within DeepTarget to show our customers what locally imaged debit cards they could possibly have. We also started to be an early adopter for 3D Storyteller with DeepTarget. With that, our strategy is a little bit different. We're using that to deliver what we're calling tips and insights to our customers. That we kind of sneak in a cross-sell message here and there, but we wanted that to be something that the customers sought out and went for. And we were seeing a lot of the large banks and fintechs were able to deliver these very, very personalized insights to our customers. And we wanted to be able to do that too. And we were able to use 3D Storyteller to do that. So that's kind of our strategy there.
Okay. Oh, so you have been a great customer all these years. And can you just tell us a little bit about where you get your data to inform DeepTarget? And is this a daily, a weekly, or a monthly feed kind of thing?
Like I said, we're a Jack Henry Silver Lake bank. We pull our CIF and some of our account information data once a month and send to DeepTarget securely to upload to their system. We also pull an ancillary file, which we go out and pull NetTeller, ESI, RDA, mobile deposit, and iPay bill pay information, and in that file, and send that as well. And we just started pulling information from Relationship 360, and we send. We only do that monthly, but we can do it any time frame we want. If we want to send that weekly or daily, I'm told we can. The crew there at DeepTarget has been very gracious in how often we want to do updates. We just chose for us monthly seems to work well.
Okay, great. Okay, so now let's just talk a little bit about the kind of resources that you need. Did you have to hire another person to handle the load?
We didn't. What we do is one person is dedicated 1 hour every week to work with DeepTarget. And we found that really doesn't take any more than that. Sometimes we put more time into it if there's a lot going on, some big campaigns. Sometimes we put less. Sometimes we skip a week. And it's no problem at all to do that. Everything is set up so that you can schedule it way ahead. You know, I have campaigns in the system for this summer already. I have campaigns that turn themselves on annually every year. So it's a really great tool to be able to schedule and very highly control those. In fact, one of the great things DeepTarget does is that you can even put in a cooling off period so that your ad shows so long, and then after so many impressions or so many days, you can turn it off for such a period, and then it automatically comes back on after that. So there's a lot of nice scheduling capability there that really helps out and makes it so that you don't need as many resources to run it.
Right. So what you said, Brenna, is like 4 hours a month is pretty much on average. Give or take a little. That's great. Okay. Right. So let's go to the next question. I know you have some great case studies, and some of which you've won awards for Ohio Valley Bank. So can you just tell us a little bit about some of your successes that you've had?
Okay. Well, one of the things that we do is we are partnered with Every Car Listed, and they have a platform that's kind of like a cars.com where there's different cars out there that people can shop. And then it sends warm leads to our lending team, and also can send them directly into our online loan application. And we were having a lot of trouble with that. You know, we had it out on the website, and when it first launched, we made a big deal about it, but we weren't really seeing the traffic to it that we wanted to see. And so we started running DeepTarget campaigns, and we found that every time we ran a DeepTarget campaign, driving traffic to Every Car Listed, we were seeing a 200% lift in the traffic. Then last October happened, and it was great. I shared this with you a little bit ago, and we both were on the floor, I think. But in October, we launched 3D Storyteller. We set our first predictive model campaign, and it was with driving folks to Every Car Listed with an auto loan ad. Predictive model campaign within 3D Storyteller. We saw a lift of over 2,500 people, and we did the math real quick. It looks like over 1,000% lift in traffic that represented in October. So we're really seeing great results, especially with 3D Storyteller and the predictive model targeting type. Seeing great success with that. We also have seen a lot of success. It really helped us out during COVID. And when you think about it, when COVID hit, we were really thinking of how can we best communicate with our customers. All of a sudden, we were closing branches. So posters in branches, the sign in branches, the handouts at the teller line, those were gone at a poof. They were gone. And so we were trying to think about what to do. And so many methods that we had were just kind of fire out, broadcast, everybody gets it. And we were doing very specialized things like, for instance, we have a Christmas Club account, and we decided to waive the early closeout fee on that Christmas Club. So if folks needed to get access to those funds because they were burdened by COVID, they could get access to those without us charging them that closeout fee. And that's a very targeted group of customers. How are we going to reach them? And DeepTarget was one of the ways that we were able to do that in a way that was a lot quicker, because it's just honestly about 3 clicks in the DeepTarget interface, where else we would have had to go query or pull a Cognos report from our Silver Lake system to pull email addresses and then email those customers out, or snail mail a letter to them. We were able to deliver those in just less than 5 minutes through DeepTarget to those folks that were already regularly logging in. So we've found a lot of success with our DeepTarget products.
That's great, Brenna. Okay, so, well, we've already kind of touched on our next question a little bit. Personalized stories and swiping are the new normal these days. And you, like you said, you were one of our beta customers for 3D Storyteller. And I believe you said 1,289% lift using 3D Storyteller.
Yeah,
just to be precise.
That is crazy, yeah. That was the first month. We've seen that come down a little bit, but honestly not much. We're really happy with what Storyteller is doing for us, and still looking at different ways we can use it. I know I mentioned earlier that we just started pulling in Relationship 360 data. So that's one of our little things we got in the works with 3D Storyteller. What our end game is, and we're still working on setup, but the end game is that we have a rewards checking account where we pay cash back, and we run that through Jack Henry's Relationship 360 software to do that. So what we're going to do is pull in the rewards cash back monthly that we send out to these customers with DeepTarget. Once we get that information sending to DeepTarget, what we'll be able to do is every month remind that customer, hey, you got X dollars in cash back last month. Great job using your card, doing all the things that you need to do to get those rewards, and really reinforcing that. Every banker, there's one truth every banker knows. You know what that is, Brenda?
What?
No customer opens customers don't open statements. That is the one known truth. So, they don't see that cash back every month a lot of times, or don't really pay attention to it. So it's great that we can remind them that they're getting this benefit from us, and really help condition them to be, their rewards from us. The way our program structured is that the more times they use their debit card for purchases, the more they get, and that helps the bank with interchange. So, it's really important for us to really be nurturing those behaviors of using your debit card, not writing checks, using e-statements. And we're able to really reinforce that with DeepTarget in this way. It's a really cool way. And there's not a way currently, at least that I know of, where we can show our customers that rewards amount except in their general transactions or in on their statement. There's not a way that we can really highlight that number in front of them without some kind of custom work done. So this was a great way that we could do that easily, really highlight that number for those customers. And we're really excited about using 3D Storyteller in that way. We've been able to do some fun things. We're working on a campaign to congratulate customers when they reach a bank anniversary with us, when they have their anniversary of when they started banking with us based on the customer sense date in the CIF. We've been able to really highly target tips, insights for cross-selling. You have this product. What do you think about having this product? We've been talking about, is there a way to upsell in those rewards? If we have a customer that has X amount of dollars over a certain threshold, we can suggest they do something with that rewards money other than just leave it in their checking account. So there's a lot of potential there with 3D Storyteller. We love the playability of it. You got to see a little bit of that today with Tom, how he kind of rolled it around. That doesn't even do it justice. You got to play with it yourself. I mean, it's really cool. It's really slick. It just you can just twirl that sucker around and see all the different sides, and once you get into it, you love playing around with it and pulling around every different way. You can link it to anything you want, which is fabulous. landing pages. You can link it to email. Anything, your imagination's kind of the only limit there. So we've got a lot of plans in the works when it comes to 3D Storyteller. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, you have definitely been innovative, and I love the bank anniversary. Bankiversary. So there's
Bankiversary.
Yeah, there's endless ways that you can use 3D Storyteller, and so you've just scratched the surface, and it's great. Thank you for that. So one of the things in today's world, you have to grab people's attention quickly. You know, they don't give you a lot of time, and video marketing has increased significantly year over year, especially for mobile users. Can you tell us your plans for video?
So one of the things that we want to do is we've been running a deep target ad that goes out to brand new customers of the bank. So again, we use that customer sense date field in the CIS on Silver Lake, and we've got a picture of our chairman and a welcome message. So if they're within 2 months of just becoming a customer of the bank, we're able to show that to them as part of a regular deep target campaign. We want to take that up the next step, make that a video. And he says, hello, you know, how impactful would that be when you have the chairman of the board of a $1 billion bank, or, you know, if you're a credit union out there, or if you're a $8 billion bank out there, you know, how cool would that be to have your highest executives say a personal hello to that customer and be able to play that. So we think that's a really cool thing. We love the idea of including video into the deep target ads because it's just going to help catch attention, especially when you're using it with Banno Online and NetTeller. Anything that can draw attention to that little ad space there will be a welcome thing, and being able to do videos in there. We just haven't had that ability before, and it's a really cool thing. We're just starting to wrap our head around that and how we're going to use that, though. But we're looking at doing a lot of personal videos, things that we shoot here. We don't have a video studio here in Ohio Valley. We don't have anything extravagant. We don't have a videographer on staff. But these videos are just a few seconds long. And honestly, we've looked into it, and it looks like we could even, you know, if we have a really good phone, we could probably do something good enough to do this. So we're really trying to wrap our heads around how to do this, and we think we can do it very cost effectively and have these simple messages out there that really catch their eye and really personalize it for the customers.
Absolutely. And yeah, an iPhone takes great videos now, right? Okay, so let's move to this one. And you've already touched on it. DeepTarget offers predictive analytics based on years of collecting data from over 200 financial institutions. So you kind of touched on it, but is there anything else you want to say about predictive analytics?
Yeah, we also did, and in addition to the auto loan I mentioned, we also did, we have a first-time home loan product, and we did that in a regular deep target ad, but using the predictive analytics. It's done very well, too, with really great conversions on that. One of the great things about the target system is that you actually see what you're opening that were influenced by these ads. So, you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you know, DeepTarget is able to, because they get your data once a month or every week or how often you want to send it to them, they match that back to the campaigns and can match who clicked on or looked at those campaigns, and then who did that person open that within the month. And that's such valuable information for a marketer. You know, there are very few channels that we can use that show us that level of ROI back on the channel, and it's just a wonderful thing to show us how successful those are, and also allows us to do a lot of A/B testing to know what's working and what's not. But the predictive model, getting on track, sorry about that, the predictive model is, we found it to be very good. We did have, and I'll give this warning to the marketing folks out there, we did have some caution from our compliance department on it when we first started to use it. You know, it is kind of a formula that they use to pull the customers that they think will be best suited for these products. And your compliance officers, if they're like mine, will have a lot of questions about, well, what exactly are they pulling? Because when it comes to loan products, we have to be, of course, very careful that we're not showing ads based on any kind of bias. So we were able to work with our compliance team and get them all the information about how that predictive analytics works. They were thrilled with it once they got to know it and give us the go-ahead. And so we've been using it ever since. And they really like the way that DeepTarget has put that together, and found no compliance problems with it. So that was our experience, and so I thought I'd share that along. But predictive analytics has been really nice for us, and it's a no-brainer too. Like, you don't, DeepTarget has the flexibility where you can build a rule based on conditions, based on fields on your core, or you can upload a list of net teller IDs and show to them, or you can show it to all users. The predictive analytics lets you kind of even skip it and make it even faster sometimes. So, like, if I don't have time to go out and create the list of things that I need to put into this rule, or if I don't have time to go out and pull a list of users I want to see as ad, I just go to the predictive analytics and say, hey, I want this to be a predictive model for an auto loan. Show it to everybody you think you should. And just a quick, easy way to get that set up in no time, and we've seen great results with it. Probably it's even been better than some of the rule-based ads that we've set up ourselves. So very thrilled with the way that works.
Thank you. Okay, so we have heard the same thing across our customer base about predictive analytics. So I think everyone is really enjoying that new feature. Okay, so let's real quick. I know you've kind of shared some information about your vision for the future regarding how you're going to market to your users. Is there anything else you'd like to add there?
I did mention we're implementing that in Banno Mobile, hopefully coming here soon in the spring. For those of you on the line that haven't been part of DeepTarget success calls along the way, they do a monthly success call where all the clients chime in, and I've been so jealous the last couple of years, because I again and again hear of banks and credit unions just having great success in mobile with DeepTarget, and it's something we haven't been able to take advantage of. So I'm really excited to get this mobile set up and going, because, we were getting the statistics. We're seeing, 150 to 200 warm leads from DeepTarget a month, solid. Sometimes it's more than that. We're seeing 30 to 40 account and loan conversions out of DeepTarget a month, solid. And sometimes it's more than that. That's kind of the low end. We're only serving those ads to our NetTeller online banking users, and the overwhelming majority of our users are mobile only. So we really expect great things when we go to mobile, serving these up, because we've already seen what we feel is a great success in online banking, and we're going to be reaching so much more of our customer base. So we're excited about the future.
Absolutely. We're excited for you. Okay, so moving to our last question for you, Brenna. Peter Drucker is credited with the quote, "If you can't measure it, you can't improve it." So can you just tell us how you've utilized DeepTarget's management reporting to both measure and also prove your ROI?
Yeah, we include our the DeepTarget management report. We include it within our monthly digital banking reporting that goes to our senior management. They like it. It's able to show them in black and white if they're making money on the product. Yeah. It shows you point blank, these are the influence conversions you had. This is how many mortgages you had opened based on these people opened a mortgage after seeing this ad or after clicking on this ad. It's in black and white, and it's very valuable. The management reports also show us, kind of benchmark us within all the DeepTarget's products too. So there's different levels that you can be, and it kind of shows you, are you doing a fair job, are you doing an outstanding job, or are you doing an excellent job when it comes to everybody else using that service. So you can kind of see where you need to improve and be able to increase increase your ads or do something different with your ads in order to get the most out of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for all this great, insightful information. Okay, so thank you, Brenna. We're going to turn it back over to Tom, do a closing and wrap this webinar up.
Thanks, Brenda. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brenda. That's really fantastic. I think we had a mic drop moment there, right? I mean, if we could go tell people they're going to get 1,000% increase, I think we don't have to say anything else, right? So you can kind of read the summary statements here I have on the screen. The only thing I want to emphasize is that you don't have to be on Banno to do marketing. Works great within Banno, but if you're a NetTeller, Godot, or any other digital platform, we can work in that platform as well. So with that, Brenda, I'll turn it back over to you and finish up the presentation today.
All right, thank you, Tom. So if you have any questions for Brenna or for Tom, please reach out, give Tom a call or send him an email. We would love to hear from you. And also, we will close this webinar out and you will get a quick survey. It's a 3-question survey. It's yes and no. It's just going to ask you, do you want a demo for your team? Do you need some more information? Or would you like to set up a call for Brenna and for Tom? And so if you don't mind just filling that out, we'll get right back to you. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us for today's webinar. And also a big thank you goes to Brenna Butler for sharing her experiences to increase user engagement through data. So thank you and have a wonderful week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you, Brenna.